Well, when it comes to making those fall dishes, do not get stuck making that same old casserole. We are back in the Charlie Wilson KitchenAid kitchen with Chef Brandi once again, who's showing us some great, easy-to-make fall vegetables, right? Like will blow your mind kind of stuff, like you didn't know that you could do that. Last segment, we were mixing up the cabbage. This is kind of a maple with the
chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, searching words on a Monday.
Yes.
And it's still going. So we're going to let this cook down just a little bit more. Can we show the picture really quick?
Yeah.
Above, so you can kind of see that it's browning.
It's starting to get there.
Bit,
you
right?
can see it's not wet and soggy, but it's just crisping up. It'll be done, you know, just in another minute or two.
Okay.
So and in that time, so we know that fall is root vegetable season. You know, carrots, parsnips, potatoes, and there's tons of recipes out with root vegetables. Well, we all know that almost all of the vitamins are in the peelings.
Yeah.
You know, but we peel them off and throw them in the trash. And you know, I like to repurpose things. So here I've got some parsnip peels, carrot peels, potato peels.
Okay.
And all I did to these was soak them in water for 5 minutes and pat them dry. That just gets some of the starches out.
Okay.
Then you need just to coat them with a little drizzle of olive oil. And then we're making a potato chip. So you can flavor these with whatever kind of flavoring you like.
You've never had like this before.
And they're kid tested. My middle child Colt is a picky eater and he will eat them.
Yeah.
So you know, we just coat them in the olive oil. I'm going to make some ranch chips today.
Yes.
So I just have some Flavor God ranch seasoning.
Flavor God once again.
You can use any kind of seasoning you like. You know, they make barbecue seasonings, white cheddar seasonings. All you do is toss those together. The easiest way is to do this in an air fryer. Takes about 6 minutes, but you can also do it in a 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Put it out like on
a sheet.
Put this out on a parchment plate or throw them in your air fryer. That's it.
Well, you see the bags of like chips and stuff in the store that's like veggie straws, this peel, that peel, right? And so you know that it's healthy, but it has like who knows what.
It has potato starch and you know, flour and all kinds of things added to it, and these are just the peels.
And your kids liked it.
Yes, yes. You know, they taste good.
Right?
I like to use these as garnishes on dishes in my private dinners. You know, if there's a potato in the dish, this is a nice garnish for it.
Oh my God.
Or, you know, if you have roasted carrots.
This seasoning. What?
They have a nice
so
crunch.
Good with the ranch. Yes. Oh, I like that.
And they'll stay crunchy for a couple days in an airtight container.
I'm stirring, don't worry.
Okay, so
I don't want to ruin this.
Our cabbage, for anybody that wasn't watching earlier, we put a few tablespoons of bacon grease in here, a few cloves of garlic, our shredded cabbage, and our chicken and waffle seasoning. Like I said, if you can't get a hold of that, use some chicken seasoning and add maple syrup. If you're going to do that, now is when you would add the maple syrup, not at the beginning.
Not at the beginning. Why?
The maple syrup will burn if you put it in this long. Your cabbage won't get cooked. The syrup will start to scorch.
Okay.
We're going to throw our bacon back in here. The only other thing I did over the break was I added a bunch of salt to it. Taste it. Cabbage needs tons of seasoning, 5 times more than you think it does.
Really? And the smell of it too. I was telling you, like sometimes you have family members that cook cabbage. Isn't that like that's a big thing, like New Year's Day,
Stinks
right?
up the whole house.
Or St. Patrick's Day or something, and it smells up the whole house. This has the most heavenly smell.
Yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't have any of that.
It smells like fall. It's a nice smell.
Rotten egg sulfur smell. You know, it doesn't have any of that. It smells nice.
Oh, that looks great.
And then,
okay, which fork? This fork?
Yes.
Is this are you using this fork for something else?
No, that's for that.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
And then I know it's a little early for Thanksgiving, but you know, here's a vegetable side dish. People are always asking me, you know, different side dishes they can make.
This would be a great side dish.
So yeah, it would be a great Thanksgiving side dish.
Oh my goodness.
You can make a batch of it in advance, and if you put it out on a baking sheet on parchment paper, pop it in a 425-degree oven, it'll crisp it back up.
Okay, so the bacon and waffles, is that maple? Why do I keep messing that up?
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles
and
that
bacon.
Seasoning just adds like some, right? There's something that I can't put my finger on, and that's that taste. It tastes so good.
Another thing you can do to it is add a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar right at the end and toss it around. It gives a little bit of a citrusy, tangy flavor.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Sorry, I'm not sharing this with anybody. I'm just double dipping my fork in there. Let me hop on over here, right?
And then maybe my favorite produce of fall is apples. Fresh apples are delicious.
Yeah.
Honey Crisp are my favorite. I'm using those today. We're gonna make some bourbon apple butter.
That's another one that's in so much of a supply right now at the grocery stores. I've seen a lot of them on sale, and you can only like cut and slice and eat so many just
Right,
that way.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pretend like this is a pressure cooker.
Okay.
You could also do it in a slow cooker. We're gonna put in, I just have some peeled, chopped, cored Honey Crisp apples.
Okay.
And for the recipe, you'll want about 5 pounds of them. And like I said, the full recipe video is on my Instagram, so you can get all the measurements. We're gonna add to it a tablespoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of allspice, and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm putting in 3/4 a cup of brown sugar,
Okay.
3/4 of a cup of just white granulated sugar, 2 whole cinnamon sticks. They really help infuse that cinnamon flavor. Then for the liquid, we're gonna add half a cup of just apple cider. You can also use apple juice. You can use water if you want, but this will give it that extra apple flavor. And then of course, we're gonna add
Cooking
some
with
of our
bourbon.
Woodford Reserve Double
Yeah.
Oak Bourbon. We want about half a cup of this. So quite a bit of bourbon. I promise it won't come out tasting like a cocktail. So all you have to do is in your pressure cooker, your crock pot, give this a stir. If you're using your Instapot, all you have to do is cook it on high pressure for 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's it.
I
Let
love
it
the
naturally.
idea of tossing this into a crock pot, right? And setting all the ingredients in there and then just letting it go.
If you put this in a crock pot, you can put it on low while you go to work. You know, it'll take about 4 to
great.
6 hours. It's not going to hurt it if it cooks longer.
Okay.
So when it comes out, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like baked apples, you know, that you get in an old country restaurant, and it's
Yeah.
going to have lots of liquid in it.
Okay.
So all you need to do is blend this up, and here's the next stage of what it'll look like when you blend it.
Okay.
It's still really liquidy, you know, it's still runny, it's not really an apple butter. So we'll throw this back on the stove, let it reduce for 20 minutes.
So just cook it back down.
And you have apple butter. That's
Wonderful.
it. At this stage, you can taste it and see if you want it to be a little sweeter, if you want it to have a little bit more of a bourbon flavor. So this is the stage where you would add it in. And then you can see
Oh, look at that.
it's super thick, dreamy. It's great on toast, biscuits. I ate it on, I'm embarrassed to say,
Go ahead.
a bologna sandwich the other day, and it was
What?
delicious.
Really?
It's good on burgers.
That's how you come
It's-
up with your best recipes, is you try things that you wouldn't necessarily put together.
Yes,
A
it's good
bologna
with
sandwich.
pork tenderloin. It tastes great with
That's great
that.
pork.
Yeah, if you
Right.
want to try it,
Right, let me get this spoon. Right.
I could
you
eat
try
it
some too.
just out of the jar like it were
Oh my
applesauce.
gosh, what a great dessert. What a great gift idea.
You can spoon it on top of ice cream or on top of a pound cake.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
You can roll it up in croissant dough or phyllo pastry and bake it in the oven. It can be a filling for a turnover.
It'd be great when you have like guests over for the holidays and you're looking for like a different kind of dessert or like breakfast item.
Yes.
Sticking this in a croissant would be great.
Charcuterie boards, you can put this on.
That is delicious,
And
Brandi.
also, if you're worried about
Love
the
it.
sugar, it's quite a bit of sugar. You can change the recipe around. You can put low-calorie sweeteners in it. You can reduce the sugar. It's still gonna turn into the same texture. You can still make apple butter with it. So
Delicious. All right, so all of these recipes are over at her Instagram and her TikTok. Just head on over to @chef.brandi on Insta and TikTok. So all the videos, so you didn't have to like be writing something down to say, how did she do? How did she do this? Everything is there, and she kind of has a great walkthrough. If you want Flavor God, her code is there in the link if you want to order up your seasonings. And of course, my favorite thing is booking you for the holidays. I think that's a great gift.
It
Not for
does.
the holidays, but maybe like after for a special occasion, that if you go to southernflair.com, then they can, Southern-Flair.
those people that you just
.com.
don't know what to buy for, you know, it's
you
a great
imagine?
sentimental gift, you know,
Yeah.
someone coming in your home, and we cook, we bring the groceries, we clean everything up afterwards, and you don't have to leave your house or drive home after you eat.
What a
So-
fun experience, right? And your recipes are always so fun and simple. I tell you all the time, just from memory, I'm able to make some of them at home that I feel like you're going to learn like some great
That's my
things
goal,
along
you
the
know.
way.
I want
is
people
you're
to see
learning.
that cooking good food doesn't have to be difficult. You don't have to be a chef, you know. It's just get in the kitchen and practice. Just try, you know. Practice makes perfect.
Delicious. Okay, leave this here. I got to eat some. I got to eat some more stuff, Chef Brandi.
I'll leave it
Always
all
great
for
to
you.
see you here.